The phone buzzed, a stark contrast to the silence of the apartment. "Thank you for your recent donation," the message read. "Your blood is helping save lives." Confusion clouded John's mind. He hadn't donated blood, not recently, not ever. He scrolled through the message again, a chill crawling down his spine. Unease settled in his stomach, a knot of dread tightening with each passing second. John paced the room, phone clutched tightly in his hand. He hadn't left the apartment all day. The thought of someone entering, taking his blood, sent shivers down his spine. He checked the locks on the door, double-checking each one for reassurance. The apartment felt smaller, suffocating, as if the walls themselves were closing in. His reflection stared back from the bathroom mirror, pale and drawn. His eyes darted to his left arm. A small red puncture mark marred his skin. Panic welled up inside him, threatening to overwhelm his senses. His fingers trembled as he reached out, gingerly touching the sore spot. A dull, throbbing pain emanated from the wound, sending a fresh wave of fear coursing through him. He stumbled back, heart pounding against his ribs. This couldn't be happening. It felt like a scene ripped from a horror movie. His mind raced, searching for a rational explanation, but coming up empty. He needed answers, confirmation that what he was experiencing wasn't real. With trembling hands, he dialed the number on the text message, his voice barely a whisper. The voice on the other end was cheerful, sickeningly sweet. They confirmed his donation, even provided the date and time. John's blood ran cold. It was from earlier today, during the hours he was home alone. He demanded an explanation, his voice shaking with a mixture of anger and terror. The operator apologized, citing a possible system error, but the damage was done. The seed of doubt had been sown, and it was growing rapidly into full-blown paranoia. He hung up, the weight of the situation crushing him. He was trapped in a nightmare, the line between reality and delusion blurring. A wave of exhaustion washed over him, but sleep was impossible. Fear, raw and primal, pulsed through his veins. He needed to know what was happening. He had to see it with his own eyes. John set up his laptop on the coffee table, its camera facing the bedroom doorway. He slept fitfully, plagued by nightmares of needles and shadowy figures. When morning came, he awoke with a gasp, his heart racing. His hand trembled as he reached for the laptop, his stomach churning with a mixture of dread and anticipation. He pressed play on the video, his eyes glued to the screen. The footage showed his room, bathed in the pale light of the moon. Hours ticked by, nothing but the sound of his own breathing. Then a flicker of movement at the edge of the screen. A figure, tall and skeletal, materialized from the shadows. It moved towards his bed, its form blurry and indistinct. John watched in horror as it leaned over him, something glinting in its hand.